Hey, how you doing today? My name is Relyea, and thank you so much for stopping by. Today, we are jumping into some Hollow Knight lore by building out a chat GPT that knows everything that we possibly know about the world of Hollow Knight. We fed this GPT the complete script of everything dealing with Hollow Knight. So it has all of the Hunter's Journal information, it has all of the achievement information, it has all the dialogue from every character. So it's going to be able to read everything and put together all of those threads that maybe us mere mortals, maybe there's something we missed. And you know what? We're going to go one step further. We brought in Ccmaci, who is a lore expert on Hollow Knight, seeing as he put together the entire Hallownest vocalized mod, which got every line of dialogue in the game, adding voice to the game. I figured he would know more than just about anybody about Hollow Knight lore. So, Ccmaci, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. We don't have to re-record, but it is Ccmaci.
Oh,
I'm the
no.
fun police. I'm the fun police tonight. I'm here to correct everything with this, including my name. And today we're going to be proving how wrong this chat GPT is.
Oh my gosh.
And when it gets everything wrong and calls Hornet void, I'm just gonna be sitting here laughing.
Could you imagine?
Humans will win in the end, all right?
I don't know. I'm hoping we get some fun theories and some good lore. I asked this thing to be a super fan of Hollow Knight, to read all the text, and then also, if we don't have an answer, give us its own thoughts about the lore, and we'll kind of go in from there. So, Ccmaci, not CC. What did I say? Did I say Ccmaci?
Mackie.
I don't even know what that is. I don't know. Anyways,
it's all good. It's all good.
What's the first question that we're doing on this?
Well, I mean, I think the best, like I said, let's see if it passes the what would you call it? Is it called a litmus test? Let's see if it passes the baseline. Is Hornet void?
I think that's a great place to start. So, Hornet as a character in Hollow Knight is not made of void. This is a fact. And there is no indication in the game or script that the lore suggests that she is composed of void. Instead, Hornet is the daughter of Hair the Beast, one of the dreamers in the Pale King. The connection is crucial to her identity and the role in the story. One interesting point from the game script, it supports this, is during an encounter with Hornet in Green Path, she says tonight, "I know what you are. I know what you'd try to do, and I can't allow it." This indicates that her awareness of the knight's nature and possibly hints at her understanding of the knight's connection to the void, but it does not imply that herself is made of void. Hornet's lineage and her role as protector of Hallownest's secrets further distance her from being void entirely. Her skills, determination, a unique heritage make her a distinct character in this game, separate from void-born creatures. All right, what do you think?
All right, so this is technically, as all AI responses are, this is technically correct. The first paragraph is a great opener, but the second paragraph, I mean, yeah, it's not wrong, but there is a specific line that she says,
right?
Where she says that part of you, that crucial emptiness, I do not share. Right after you get Shade Cloak, and actually, as a quick little shout out to the new Hollow Knight wiki. I'm actually going to be referencing that throughout most of this.
Good call.
New Hollow Knight wiki. They've moved from fandom to their own independent website. So
we'll make sure to put a link to that down in the description below. Don't go to that old fandom page. It's just full of ads, and it was just a bad experience. So they moved to a new spot.
So when the AI fails us, the independent wiki cannot. It physically cannot. Humans are never wrong. All right, they're never wrong.
Never,
ever. Here, let me start by pulling up that line.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the complete script too.
So this is pulling. So you gave it all the lines from Hollow Knight, everything like lore tablets, NPCs, dead body, dream nail dialogue. You gave it all of that, right?
Yes.
Is it pulling from anything else? Because some of this seems like this is a good response, even though it missed a crucial evidence. It's still a really good response.
It's this right here. It's a complete script. Though our strength is born of similar source, that part of you, that crucial emptiness I do not share. See, that's I feel like that's the ticket that it missed. It just didn't provide all of its sources. That's all.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one for it to get dead wrong.
All right, let's see what it's got. You know what? It'll be replacing us soon enough. You know what? You should watch out. I mean, this is the worst a Chat GPT machine overlord will ever be. In the future, it's only going to get better and better, and you better watch your mouth. I, for one, welcome our AI overlords.
I'll watch my words for now. We'll let the results show themselves. All right. I'm gonna crack open this arcane egg with a freaking ice pick. All right. Let's see what it's got.
So next, I want to ask, who are Steel Soul Jinn's masters? I did a little, what do you call it? A short on Steel Soul Jinn talking about masters, but I don't know who the masters are. Is it something to deal with Farloom? I don't know.
Steel Soul Jinn, a character in Hollow Knight, serves mysterious masters who are not explicitly identified within the game. In the game's script, Jinn mentions, Jinn's masters are other, mine's other, not order they seek. This statement indicates that Jinn's masters have a different mindset or agenda compared to the rulers of Hollownest, such as the Pale King, and are not focused on maintaining order. Given the enigmatic nature of this dialogue, it's a fertile ground for theories. One possible game theory is that Jinn's masters could be higher beings or entities from outside of Hollownest, possibly related to the ancient civilization that preceded the kingdom. This theory is based on Jinn's unique role and otherworldly knowledge, as well as the game's themes of ancient mysteries and forgotten powers. However, this remains speculative, as the game does not provide concrete information about these masters. We got a game theory here.
Game theory.
Oh.
So whenever it says game theory, it basically means that the GPT made up its own theory based on the information that it has. And so it doesn't have factual information to support said theory. I think that's wrong in that I'm surprised that it didn't say anything about Farloom and that could have been a thing. But I think it might have been going strictly off of that document that we gave it. And not knowing anything about Farloom, so can only dock it so much if you only train it so poorly. It's my fault.
I mean, off of it's not a stretch to assume her masters might be higher beings.
Well,
I mean, they're able to control
fine.
Void. Yeah.
But the ancient stuff is kind of. I mean, it's possible it's an ancient thing, but I don't know.
I give this a based. This is a pretty based response.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much wiggle room. It's like, yeah, it's about it. It's there you go. That's the answer. It doesn't say like, oh, for sure it's this, because there is no real answer, at least not yet.
Let's go with another basis test. It might be able to answer this one. Why does Mask Maker make masks?
Ooh, does a mask maker make masks? Great question. He says something about giving the different character, like everyone's wearing a mask, so it's like a front, right? So everyone needs a mask, and the mask maker makes masks. But are they for everyone? The mask maker in Hollow Knight creates masks to provide identities to those who are faceless in the kingdom of Hallownest. According to the game script, the mask maker states, "For this kingdom's faceless I shall provide." This suggests that the mask maker sees their role as essential for giving individuality and presence to beings who otherwise lacked a distinct identity, which is kind of interesting when you think about it, because that's kind of what the Pale King does. Is the Pale King gave identity, gave sentience to the beings of Hallownest, but then he gives sentience to them to let them know that they are something, that they're worth thinking and thinking about and whatever else, but they didn't really have identity. So then maybe that makes them want to wear a mask. From this, we can theorize that the mask maker's purpose goes beyond mere physical creation. Masks in Hallownest seem to carry a deeper significance, possibly tied to the essence or soul of the wearer. They might not just be for protection or disguise, but could also be a way to grant or reinforce a sense of self to the various inhabitants of this intricate world. This aligns with the game's themes of identity, memory, and essence of being. However, this remains a theory, as the game leaves much of the deeper implications of the mask maker's work to interpretation.
I wanted to ask, did the mask maker make the Dreamer masks?
The mask maker in Hollow Knight does not explicitly state that they made the masks for the Dreamers. However, there is a suggestive dialogue that could lead to some interesting speculation. The mask maker mentions to change a face, to conceal it fully within another, a powerful protection that is but one with sad consequence. The original mind is destroyed through those of striking with The original mind is destroyed, though those of striking will may still retain a sliver of that concealed self. This dialogue hints at the transformative and potentially destructive power of the masks. It suggests that masks can change or conceal the identity of the wearers, which is a key theme in the game. Given this, one could theorize that the masks of the Dreamers, Hera the Beast, Monomon the Teacher, and Lurien the Watcher, were created with a similar purpose, to protect and perhaps to bind them to their duty of sealing the infection within the Hollow Knight.
Shoot. Okay. Hold on. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. However, this remains a theory, as the game does not provide distinctive proof that the mask maker was responsible for creating the Dreamers' masks. The role and the origin of these masks are left somewhat ambiguous, fitting the game's style of storytelling, which often relies on implication and interpretation. All right.
Whoa, that was... Hold on. It might have just... Okay, let's go over that again.
So
this dialogue hints at the transformative and potentially destructive power of the masks. It suggests that the masks can change or conceal the identities of the wearers, which is I don't know if it's a key theme in the game, but given this, one could theorize that the masks of the Dreamers, Hera, Monomon, and Lurien, were created with a similar purpose to protect and perhaps to bind them to their duties of sealing the infection within Hollow Knight. So
Ooh.
I like the bind part is where I just like immediately latched onto that,
right?
Because we knew that we don't know if they really protect the Dreamers. I mean, there is a seal of binding that surrounds their bodies, which protect them against physical damage. That's why you need a dream nail to get into them. To I don't know how you're ending up killing them, but you do through the process of dream nailing them and hitting their dream version inside their head. It kills them. But for the masks to bind them to their duty,
it's interesting.
That's a great distinction to make.
So it makes me think of when we first hear from the Dreamers is after the first fight with Hornet. What do they say?
Would it seek to break the seals? They cannot be undone. They must be undone. Let us sleep, little shadow. Return to your darkness. Allow us our peace. There's something about an eternal sleep that the Dreamers are in. It's implied, at the very least, it's implied that their sleep is eternal. Basically,
you were saying that they had the mask on and still were around in the world before they were put to sleep, in which case they would have been bound to their duty. Like when they have to sleep to do their duty, which is to keep the thing closed, the seal. I think
this could still work. Maybe the black egg wasn't made, so they had no reason to sleep. And the moment the black egg was ready and primed for locking up the Hollow Knight, they went night-night. I think this was a really nice distinction of them to make, to say that the not only did they bind the Black Egg Temple's entrance, but that the mask bound them to their sleep.
Yeah.
I really like that. All right, you get a point. You get a point, machine.
Ding, ding, ding. One for ChatGPT for an interesting point. All right, cool. I'll take it. Why is Lurien the Watcher called Lurien the Watcher?
This is one I've always wanted to know about. If it can give me a good answer here.
Really?
Maybe we should. No one knows. He's got a telescope. That's about it.
That's true. And what's the telescope even looking at?
It's not very well focused. It's kind of just looking at the city very generically. If we don't get a good answer, I want it to give us a
its own
game
lore.
theory.
Okay.
I want it to give us a game theory. We'll try to proc that. Lurien is known as Lurien the Watcher due to his role in overseeing the city of Hollownest from his spire. As per the script of Hollow Knight, it states, Lurien the Watcher in his spire looking over the city. This title reflects his duty as one of the 3 dreamers who were tasked with using their power to seal the temple and protect the vessel containing the infection that threatened Hollownest. Lurien's position in the spire, high above the city, symbolizes his role as a vigilant guardian, constantly watching over the kingdom. His task was not only to physically watch, but also to participate in the metaphysical act of sealing and protecting the realm through his slumber. The title of the Watcher encapsulates both his literal and figurative roles as a guardian and overseer.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's it, right? Is there really that much more to it?
Maybe we ask, what was he watching for specifically?
What were you looking at with that telescope?
Let's crack open the Arcane Egg. Game theory. Lurien the Watcher's true purpose in overseeing the City of Tears. Lurien the Watcher's role in Hollow Knight goes beyond mere surveillance of the City of Tears. Given the complex and layered lore of Hollow Knight, it's plausible that Lurien's vigil was focused on something more profound and possibly more sinister than simply preventing crime. Oh, it's going against your question. Monitoring the spread of the infection. Okay. Lurien's primary role might have been to monitor the spread of the infection that plagues Hollownest. This infection, a key part in the game's story, manifests in various ways throughout the kingdom. Lurien's position in the spire could symbolize his responsibility to watch for signs of this infection spreading within the City of Tears, arguably the heart of the kingdom. I like that. He's watching for spread. Okay.
Makes sense.
Kind of sucked at his job if he didn't catch the Soul Sanctum in their little...
Right.
Well, I guess they were a bit detached. But
yeah, and they were also trying to fight the infection. They just thought they could do it with pure mind.
And Lurien might have been gone by the time they started kidnapping bugs for Soul.
That's true. That could have happened a little bit later.
Which means the watchful eye, singular eye, was gone. I like that. Observing the effects of the Pale King's rule. As one of the dreamers, Lurien was closely linked to the Pale King. His oversight of the kingdom might have involved monitoring the effects of the king's decisions and policies on the citizens. This includes observing how the Pale King attempts to harness the power of Void, and his efforts to maintain control of the kingdom were affecting its inhabitants. Oh, seeing how harnessing the Void and how his efforts to maintain control of the kingdom were affecting. Okay.
Okay.
I don't like this one as much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we'd be seeing more evidence of Void in the kingdom if that was the case.
Yeah.
And he had pretty good control over his kingdom. I mean, he didn't kill the Radiance, but he sealed it.
Yeah.
Made everyone forget about it.
No void or vessels seem to have come out through the kingdom. Maybe not. I don't know. We didn't see any like void come up through the kingdom, even though the kingdom was built on top of all that stuff, right? Like
There's a when you fall down the broken elevator shaft,
the shaft,
to get to Ancient Basin. You know all those spikes and barricades?
Yes.
There's a bunch of void particles floating up when you go down.
Oh, that's true. Maybe the void was starting to seep through from the abyss, because I mean it's the abyss, and then it's just a hop, skip, and a leap before you get to that elevator.
When you go across the broken bridge to get to the abyss, yeah, no one actually talks about this. You know how there's a bunch of it's basically a spike pit, but they're like insects, like it's like an insect bed.
Yeah, yeah.
Why is that there?
All right, so that's the bridge.
So were all those insects there before the barricades were up? Because that tramway connects directly to Deep Nest, and the mantises were specifically as a part of their truce with Hollownest. The mantises had to keep Deep Nest out of fungal wastes. So maybe City had to do their own barricade and keep Deep Nest out of City of Tears. If there's incursions on the City of Tears, you'd think that they would also incur on the the where the Pale King lives, where the king lives, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was Deep Nest then. I think it might have been. It was probably Void that they were trying to Void or Infection that they were trying to fight off against.
Yeah, what was Lurien watching for? And then the idea was, oh, maybe it was to stop Void, or not to stop Void, but to look out for Void and Infection and just whatever else, right?
Right. And then I was like, I don't think so. But then I was like, oh, wait, maybe it is talking about, maybe there is influence of Void, which then brought us to the why they have barricades on the. Okay.
Yeah.
Lurien's vigil could have also been involved looking for signs of rebellion or dissent among the citizens. The lore hints at unrest and dissatisfaction with the Pale King's rule. Lurien could have been tasked with identifying and reporting such activities.
Ooh, Big Brother?
More sinister. On a darker note, Lurien's constant vigil could represent a form of control over the populace, serving as a reminder of the Pale King's omnipresent gaze. This would fit the themes of authoritarian control and the suppression of individuality, which are woven into the game's narrative. I'm gonna throw that one in the trash. No. The worm's influence in the larger cosmic game.
What?
Finally, considering the worm's transformation into the Pale King and its mysterious cosmic goals, Lurien's role could be a part of a larger, more enigmatic, it loves that word, enigmatic plan. Perhaps this surveillance was meant to gather data for the worm's unknown purpose, or to maintain some cosmic balance or order that the citizens of Hollownest were unaware of. Game theory successful.
Yeah, that's out there.
Scroll up a bit. I want to see the bit. The first part was nice. Monitor the spread of the infection. That's the strongest one right there. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. What's our question? What evidence do you have outside of the radiance? I think we we need to specify.
Hey, we'll see what comes up. Evidence of unrest and dissatisfaction with the Pale King's rule in Hollow Knight can be inferred from various aspects of the game's lore and script. One significant piece of evidence is the existence of the traitor's child in the Queen's Gardens. What? The script states that here sleeps a traitor's child. The reference to a traitor within the kingdom implies betrayal. It's not betrayal to the Pale King, it's betrayal to the Mantis tribe. Additionally, the game's lore reveals that other aspects to that point with dissatisfaction of the Pale King, the fall of Hollownest. The decline of Hollownest itself suggests that the Pale King's rule is not sustainable. Widespread infection, the abandonment of entire areas, and the presence of broken and lost souls throughout the kingdom indicate systemic issues. Kind of because of the infection. Is that necessarily the king's, like, people are upset with the king? I mean, he did
systematic. I don't know if he systematically did it, but he did make everyone forget about the radiance, which did come to bite him later.
I mean, is it his fault that he's so cool that other people forget about the other thing? I don't know.
He did say in his lore tablet, "No blazing kin, only one light shall shine against the dark."
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he took up he was actively trying to get rid of the radiance. Okay. Okay, so the rebellion of the Mantis tribe. The Mantis tribe's refusal to succumb to the Pale King's rule and their subsequent isolation from the rest of Hollownest. Okay, but that's just not within the City of Tears. We were specifically looking for within the citizens. The existence of the Hollow Knight in the vessel. What? The creation of the Hollow Knight in the vessel means to contain the infection shows desperation in the Pale King's measures to maintain control and suggests failure of his governance, or the failure of him to protect his city from outside forces. I feel like those are different things, right? Dialogue from various characters throughout the game express their views on the kingdom and its decline, some of which can be interpreted as critical. Yeah, this is all kind of... But what I do want to know is if the Pale King was to own a computer, what brand of computer would the Pale King own? I have a game theory that there's only one brand of computer that the Pale King could possibly own.
Relyea, tell me, what is this one brand of computer that he could possibly own?
If the Pale King from Hollow Knight were to own a computer, it seems fitting that he would choose a Lenovo Legion computer, given his traits and the nature of his rule. A Lenovo Legion would suit his needs for several reasons. High performance.
Oh my god!
The Pale King is known for his intelligence and sophisticated rule over Hollow Nest, and he would likely appreciate the high performance of a Lenovo Legion's computers, which are designed for gaming in intensive tasks. Enhance.
It all makes sense now,
right? That's what he needed. That's all he would have needed to fight off the infection.
Elegance and design.
Lenovo
Legion computers are known for their sleek and elegant design, much like their aesthetic of the White Palace and the refined nature of the Pale King's own appearance.
That's true.
It all makes sense.
It all comes together.
It does.
The durability and reliability. Oh, you need that if you're a Pale King. As a ruler who's focused on longevity and the enduring legacy of his kingdom, the Pale King would value the durability and the reliability that Lenovo Legion computers offer.
Keep it going.
Oh my gosh.
It going.
Advanced features of Lenovo Legion's Pro Series laptops and gaming desktops, such as powerful processors, high quality gaming graphics, and the fastest refresh rates, could be the ideal for a ruler who's looking for the future, embracing innovation. This is sponsored by Lenovo Legion. Just so you know, Lenovo Legion did sponsor the channel, and we're gonna be throwing in some little ad reads in the middle of the videos, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Lenovo. I really do appreciate it. Lenovo, I got a guy for you. You hear that? You hear Cc? He's ready for you.
I would like a streaming desktop, or sorry, desktop with my regular desktop. Just saying, I wouldn't mind that.
Hey, you know what?
Dedicated streaming desktop.
Links in the description, and I'll see if I can't get you to talk to a guy I know. Ooh, okay, so this is a good one. We're gonna ask the GPT, the Arcane Egg, to come up with its own theory, provide reasons both for and against. Is Zote a vessel? And we'll see what it comes up with, because I've got my own theory, and it's that Zote is actually a vessel, but Zote was one of the very first vessels to ever be created, and thus he is a broken vessel. He is an impure vessel who obviously has his 57 precepts of Zote, and he's thinking, he's all over the place, but that's why he's broken. Obviously, the Pale King didn't know what he was doing when he was creating vessels. That's why there's an entire army of vessels down in the abyss. He doesn't know what the heck is going on, so he made some bad ones. Zote being one of the bad ones that didn't work out. After Zote, the Pale King was like, no voice to speak, shut up, Zote. and that's why there's no voice to cry suffering.
Zote would be the originator of that line. He's like, I'm not having another one of these things be my savior of Hollow Nest. We can remove the mouth part. We get some efficiency up.
Yeah, save some energy. All right. This one.
I'm interested too. I'm interested too. I'll read the arguments against. You read the arguments for.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So arguments for Zote being a vessel. So similar in appearance, Zote shares some physical similarities between the knight, like a dark body and a white mask, which are characteristics of vessels. All right. The presence in Hollow Nest, Zote is found in various locations throughout Hollow Nest, much like the knight. Okay, that's not a very strong point, suggesting that he could put another product of the Pale King's experiments. He could be another product of the Pale King's experiments.
So that means that Coral, Cornifer, Cloth,
terrible.
Bretta's technically in 2 locations. Sly's technically in 2 locations, maybe 3.
But not similar in appearance. So, but it's still making me look bad. Mysterious background. So its past is largely unexplained, leaving room for speculation that he could have origins similar to the knight. Okay.
Alright, arguments against. Personality and ego. Zote displays a strong personality, ego, and self-awareness, traits that are notably absent in vessels, who are supposed to be void of will and mind. In the game, Zote proclaims, "I am Zote the Mighty, a knight of great renown," showcasing his ego and self-identity. Lack of void characteristics. Vessels are born of the void and usually lack individual identity or emotion. Zote, on the other hand, is full of personality and lacks the otherworldly characteristics associated with void. No direct link to the abyss or the void. Unlike the Knight, there is no direct narrative or lore-based link suggesting that Zote originated from the Abyss or was created by the Pale King as a part of the Vessel project. Gameplay and narrative role. Zote's role in the game is more comedic and less integral to the core lore of Vessels and the Void. He serves as a foil to the Knight's silent and purposeful character rather than as a fellow Vessel. I think it took something from my lore video on Zote, because that's a pretty... I don't remember anyone really saying specifically that Zote is a foil to the Knight.
Oh, interesting.
It might have, like, that word for word. It's not word for word,
but it's pretty close to the idea of it.
Yeah, like the last section of that Zote video was going over this exact thing of how his role in the story isn't really too integral. This is, I mean, plagiarism, maybe, but... that is really interesting. I wonder if we'll see hints of stuff like directly from like Mossbag's videos too. I mean, so far I don't think we've seen anything like that, but I don't know. Maybe we also haven't been looking for it. It says there are superficial reasons to speculate that Zote might be a Vessel. The evidence against the theory is stronger, especially considering his distinct personality and lack of... Dang. All right.
Yeah, but
sorry,
Relyea. Great. Yes, but I feel like that didn't negate my points of the Pale King making just a poorly made vessel that accidentally had a bunch of quirky personality.
In the Zote lore video I made, I did have... Actually, it wasn't even going to be about Zote, about what I made in that video. I was going to make a video about how Zote could be exactly what you're saying. Not a vessel per se, but related to the Pale King. And like it's like Zote's like the compatibility child, because the Pale King is a worm and the White Lady is a tree. And I don't think those two got together and was like, yeah, we could make children who are capable of containing void inside themselves. I don't know if they knew that. So I made the guess of, oh, maybe they had a child just to test things out, see if they were actually able to copulate. If they were able to actually produce a child. And that's why the nursery is there, not for the Hollow Knight, but for Zote.
For Zote?
When he was being...
That would be wild.
That was my theory.
That sounds like a game theory.
It was quite the game theory, which got shut down once I realized that Hornet is called the gendered child, and Zote is without a doubt a guy and has gender. Why would they call Hornet the gendered child as one of her titles, unless she is the only child of the Pale King to have a gender?
That's true.
The only way that my compatibility child theory was correct is that Zote was such an unremarkable and forgettable child that when Zote was out of the picture, they just forgot he existed.
Just forgot about him.
Which is in line with his character, honestly. It would be pretty funny, but I would more go into, with your theory, I would go less into the vessel part of it and more of him being related to the Pale King. I think there's more evidence, or there'd be a stronger argument for him being related to the king, less than being void. But I mean, hey, nothing's set in stone. And also, I'm sorry to add insult to injury here, but you seem to be denying your robot overlords here by wanting to push your theory when it clearly states that otherwise.
True. Yeah. You know what? Maybe they're right.
Why does Mato hate Oro? A near word for word of my why does Mato hate Oro, explaining why Mato hates Oro video.
Do you think it would pull like some lines of dialogue directly from your video?
You didn't tell it to do that, but I bet it would. I bet it would reference it, like it plagiarizes, like it did that gameplay and narrative role.
The relationship between Mato and Oro, two of the Nail Masters in Hollow Knight, appears to be complex and somewhat strained. Based on the script, we can infer some underlying tension between them. Oro, upon learning that the player had been trained by Mato, remarks, "The nail art. You have been training with my brother Mato. He has strange notions of loyalty and honor. I'm sure he was difficult and unpleasant to train under." This statement suggests a few things: differing values. Oro perceives Mato as having strange notions of loyalty and honor. This could imply that their values or approaches to the nail arts or their duties as nail masters differ significantly. Personal differences. Oro's comment about Mato being difficult and unpleasant to train under indicates personal differences that may have led to a rift between them. This could be rooted in their personalities or teaching methods. Professional rivalry. There may be an element of professional rivalry with each brother having a different philosophy or style in the nail arts, leading to disagreements or competition and unresolved issues. Oro's message for the player to pass to Mato to tell him to be patient. He'll be waiting a while longer before I give him what he wants. Hence, some unresolved issue or promise between them. While the exact reasons for their strained relationship aren't explicitly stated in the game, these clues from dialogue paint a picture of a complicated dynamic, possibly fueled by differing beliefs, personal disagreements, and unresolved past conflicts. Ooh, get into it. I would like you to deep dive into a game theory. The exact reason Mato hates Oro. To unravel the exact reason behind Mato's animosity towards Oro and Hollow Knight, let's consider the various elements of the game's lore, character development, and thematic underpinnings. Wow, they're gonna get deep. This theory will delve into aspects of their personalities, roles, and blah blah blah. Okay. Philosophical differences in the nail arts. Mato and Oro, both disciples of the great nail sage Sly, likely developed distinct philosophies over their practice of the nail arts. Mato's approach might emphasize traditional values like honor and loyalty, as inferred from Oro's remarks about his strange notions. In contrast, Oro might have adopted more pragmatic or individualistic approach. The fundamental differences could have led to deep disagreements, breeding resentment.
Sibling rivalry and jealousy. As brothers, Mato and Oro might have experienced intense sibling rivalry, especially under the tutelage of a single master. This rivalry could have been exacerbated by previous favoritism of from their master, or by their competitive natures. If one brother felt overshadowed or underappreciated compared to the other, it could have sown seeds of lasting bitterness. Okay.
Conflict. Wow, there's quite a few. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Conflict over the direction of their dojo. The brothers might have clashed over the future direction of their dojo or the teaching methods of the nail arts. If Mato was more conservative, wishing to preserve tradition, while Oro sought innovation or a different path, such a dispute could have caused a rift.
Personal betrayal or broken promise. There's a possibility of a personal betrayal or broken promise between them. Oro's messages from Mato to be patient suggests an unresolved issue. This could be a failed commitment or disagreement that turned personal, leading to enduring animosity.
And so the fall of Hallownest and the spread of the infection might have affected Mato and Oro differently, impacting their perspectives and exacerbating existing tensions. One brother might blame the other for not adequately responding to the kingdom's crisis or for decisions that led to negative consequences. That's kind of interesting.
Ooh. External influence or manipulation. Considering the mysterious and often manipulative forces at play in Hallownest, like the Radiance or the Pale King, It's possible that external influences exacerbated, that's another word they like, exacerbated their conflict, playing on their fears or ambitions. In summary, Mato dislikes Oro could stem from a complex mix of philosophical disagreements, sibling rivalry, personal betrayal, and the stressful context of Holland's decline. These factors, intertwined with their identities as nail masters and brothers, create a rich tapestry for speculation and interpretation within the game's lore. Definitely number 5 was an interesting...
yeah.
I like that.
So... I want to look into what was the line that, let's see, you have been training with my brother. He has strange notions of loyalty and honor. So he got disrespected at some point. Something happened, right? To bring that out. Like to say strange notions, it's just like, yeah, it's like that's not a true friend or whatever. I'm sure he was difficult and unpleasant to train under. That sounds like it could have been just a jab. You've been training with my brother Mato. So Oro is saying this to the little knight regarding Mato. Oro's telling Mato to be patient, so maybe he's saying like patient, like I'm not going to talk to you until I get over this, or I wonder what before I give him what he wants.
We don't know what Mato wants, like before I give him what he wants, what exactly Mato wants, or what Oro thinks Mato wants. But yeah, that's a good question. I just hope it doesn't it kind of reiterated those first 4 points over again. I hope it doesn't do that again. Yeah,
and if it's not anything, then we'll just cut it from the video. I can't remember which one's which. Where's Mato?
Mato is in King's Pass, or right next to King's Pass, in Highland Cliffs, top left of the kingdom.
So he's kind of on the outside of everything. So that kind of makes he's further away from all the things that are happening.
Oro's in Kingdom's Edge. It's actually quite interesting that Mato and Oro, with their rivalry, are both on opposite edges of the kingdom, where Mato is at the entrance to the kingdom, and Oro is apparently at the other edge of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Literally Kingdom's Edge. And then there's Shio, who's just hanging out in Green Path.
Yeah. All right, so Oro's sentiment motto were not explicitly detailed. Yeah. So the statement suggests a few things: unspecified promise or agreement. See, that's what I'm saying. Oro is aware that Mato wants something from him, which could be a promise or an agreement they had in the past. The nature is not specified. Oro's reluctance or delay, yet the player tells Mato to be patient. Yeah, and possible reconciliation or resolution suggests that what Mato wants might involve a resolution or reconciliation of their strained relationship, but Oro's not ready or prepared for this step. Yeah, interesting. Okay, that wasn't much.
Oro's a bit of a tsundere. He doesn't like being emotional, or because you give him the delicate flower and he's like, I'm gonna throw it away, stupid, and then he doesn't. He puts it in a flower pot.
Yeah,
he's like the only character in the game who's like, I don't know if a vase counts as more sentiment, it's like considering the sentimental value more than just holding it. I don't know.
I think so, because he's caring for it. He's trying to make it live longer. Like if you were to just hold on to it, just like, yeah, you just have it. But if you were to take the time to go get a vase and fill it up with water and set it up somewhere, like you're planning to keep it and have it for a little longer.
Now the thing is that Mato does sound pretty angry with Oro. I still haven't forgotten what he owes me, and I never will, was what Mato says about Oro. So does Oro owe Mato an apology? I don't know what he owes, but it is an interesting fact to be like, oh, maybe Oro just is like bad with emotional stuff, and he just doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to see his brother. Can you save Myla? I think that's a good one.
Ooh, I think the answer is no.
Teacher actually answered this in an AMA.
Did they?
Kinda. They said, as long as she doesn't die, who knows? She might still be alive. And then they commented again, maybe.
Let's see. It is not possible to save Myla, a miner infected by the widespread corruption plaguing Hallownest.
No! No!
Black and white, just it is not possible.
Why did you say it like that? You could have at least sugarcoated.
Initially appears cheerful and sings while mining in Crystal Peak area. However, as the infection progresses, her demeanor changes as she eventually becomes hostile. The game script shows her initial lively character. Oh, bury my mother, pale and slight. Bury my father with eyes shut tight. Bury my sisters 2 by 2. Then when you're done, let's bury me too. This quote reflects her initial uninfected state.
Me hearing that we can't say Myla also hit me pretty hard. I got pretty unstable there for a second.
I could hear
I'm
it.
still feeling the reverberations.
I think we lost you there for a second. Hopefully you come back to us fully. So she gets worse. All right, that's all it says. What else we got? We did a Zote vessel.
Who is Tuck searching for? Also, if we do a second one of these, I think we should ask the people who've watched the video for some questions.
Ooh, that's a good idea. In fact, yeah, if you have any questions that you would like to ask, well, 2 things. 1, I will leave a link to this GPT in the description called the Arcane Egg. You'll be able to prompt the same thing, ask it what character's favorite computer is, or lore questions, whatever you want. And yeah, you can kind of play around with this a little bit. But if you want us to go over it in a video, then yeah, leave a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it. Let's see. So the exact identity of who Tuck searched for in Hollow Knight is not explicitly stated. I'll find you again. Yes. Suggests a deep personal quest, possibly rooted in past trauma or loss. Game theory. So considering the game themes of Hollow Knight, they always say that. Considering the themes of Hollow Knight, Tuck's search could be for a lost loved one, common motif in the game's narratives. The theory aligns with the overarching theme of loss and decay. Okay, so those are themes, loss and decay. Tuck's mention of water and their location in the royal waterways support this, as the waterways could metaphorically represent the flow of memories and passage of time.
The thing is that the waterways, they look pretty solid, honestly. If there was a passage of time, you'd think that there'd be some decay in some sort, or like the foundations crumbling or whatever. Waterways looks pretty fine.
Yeah,
and actually,
they're not crumbling.
Cornifer actually comments, which I guess this might in some weird way actually apply. He says that the waterways should have probably really stunk really bad, because this is where all the kingdom's waste went, that waste. So, but over time, no one's been using it, so the waterways have just been flushed clean, and now they smell fine. So, that's a really weird way to say passage of time. Maybe not passage of time, more absence of something that isn't right. It's a waterways for wastewater, but it's clean, right?
Yeah,
it's all clean. I don't know what metaphor that represents, but I don't think it's flow of memories and passage of time.
The water will bring you to me. I just need to keep searching and praying. I think it's physically talking about the water in the royal waterways, because it's kind of hunting in the water, right? All right, the theory of seeking redemption or resolution. Another possibility is that Tuck is seeking someone they wronged in the past. I want you to say that you're sorry indicates a desire for an apology or reconciliation. This could be tied to the past event where Tuck feels they were responsible for a tragedy, betrayal, and how they are now seeking to make amends. I think that they want the other person to say sorry. Because when we meet again, I want you to say sorry. Unless Tuck's speaking about themselves, like, I need to make sure. Now, it just sounds like a weird way to phrase something. If you're literally in your own thoughts, you're not going to say, I want you to say sorry.
Everything you see, it belongs to me. I'll share my food with you. Yeah, Tuck's not talking about herself. She's definitely asking. She wants whoever she's looking for to say sorry.
Yeah, but this specifically is a little bit different because it's being dream nailed, so it's her actual thoughts, right? So could she be speaking in the third person in her thoughts? Maybe.
Well, she says, I want you to say
that's what I'm
sorry.
saying. Yes, I agree with that. I think that just doesn't really make sense in your thoughts. You're not you better do this. Possibility of a spiritual or symbolic search. Lastly, Tuck's quest might not be for a specific person, but could symbolize a spiritual journey. Their statement about praying and the eternal nature of their dialogue could suggest a search for peace, forgiveness, or understanding. What? Perhaps related to the broader mysteries and tragedies of Hallownest. That doesn't make any sense, because I want you to say you're sorry. I'll find you again.
It didn't say eternal. It said ethereal nature of their dialogue, which is even weirder.
Yeah.
The funny thing about I'm seeing a pattern here with what the Arcane Egg is doing when we ask it for a game theory.
Yeah.
It goes from most reasonable, it thinks most reasonable, and then it does like one that's like, it usually does one that's like kind of out there, but it's like something that no one's really thought about, like with like the infection or like the mask one where it's like binding, and then it just goes into one where it's like
way deep,
the greater, the higher powers that are behind the curtain,
the cosmic,
that are controlling everything behind the scenes. And the ethereal nature of the dialogue, it like goes into full just whack mode.
Yeah.
With the last one. Oh, I want to see this. I want to see this.
Who
Come
could
on.
it be?
Come on.
Who could it be? Peel back the layers of this arcane egg. Remember, they're purely speculative and not confirmed by the game. I know that. That's why it's a game theory. Okay, key figure associated with the royal waterways. Oh, and she just kind of like disappeared. Relic Seeker Lem. Okay, given Tuck's location in the waterways and Lem's interest in relics of Hallownest, there could be a past connection or story between them. Bretta, although primarily linked to Zote, Bretta's own journey and experience in Hallownest leave room for past interactions. Okay, we're kind of getting less and less Myla. She's up in the mines, mining away all day. How would she be in there? Myla's tragic story and the fact that many characters in the game have interwoven narratives could place her as a person of interest to Tuck's search. That sounds right out. And Cloth, as a wandering and adventurous character, Cloth travels throughout Hallownest and could have intersected with Tuck's story in some significant way, yet undiscovered.
Not Cloth, because you meet Cloth. You meet Cloth before she's even just like really traveled the kingdom. So
that's true. She hasn't really gone all over. She's just starting her journey. She's just like, yeah, I shouldn't stay here, right? Is that kind of what she said when we first meet her?
unless she somehow beat you to no, it made it sound like she went to Deep Nest first.
Okay.
Myla is a no.
Definitely
unless
not.
She like glitched her way into royal waterways and stole something from Tuck and then ran back. Probably not Bretta.
No, it just doesn't seem likely. I think Isma is actually kind of an interesting thought, being in the royal waterways and also passing away, similar to the Dung Defender not knowing that Isma has passed away.
We might not have a name, but I think we have at least a series of events at least.
Yeah.
Which is pretty nice. Well, Tuck was hanging out somewhere, maybe in City of Tears, maybe not. One way or another, her little friend, inanimate or otherwise, fell into the waterways. Tuck went running after it and ended up in that spot, digging through trash and rummage, trying to find the thing she wants to apologize to her.
I think mystery solved. So speaking of the collector,
oh yeah, exactly.
Why does the collector put grubs in glass jars and hide them around Hallownest?
The exact reason why the collector in Hollow Knight puts grubs in glass jars and hides them around the kingdom, it's not explicitly explained in the game. However, based on the game's script, we can delve into a game theory to explore the possible motivations behind this particular event. Game theory number 1, obsessive collection. The collector is described as a dark figure locked inside the Tower of Love, preserves hollowness creatures in glass jars with particular attention given to grubs. This suggests an obsessive need to collect and preserve creatures, possibly as a way to maintain some semblance of order or control in the chaos that's befallen Hollowness. Ooh, all right.
So just he's just a regular old collector, you know. I like you get Pokemon cards and you want to put them in sleeves and then hide them all over the house, you know.
I'll add to that. I would say that's very in line if he's looking for well, he does say they're more for protection. His Dreamnail dialogue does say protected at last, collector. But this would be an insane man's way of keeping order and control. This would be an insane man's way of doing it.
So protection or imprisonment. The collector might believe they're protecting the grubs by encasing them in jars, shielding them from the dangers of the infected kingdom. Alternatively, this could also be seen as imprisonment, reflecting a twisted view of love or care, quote, care, while freedom is sacrificed for safety.
Political messaging in my Hollow Knight? What? What? Let's move on to the next one. But no, seriously, this is probably the best. That's probably it's the most common.
Yeah, most people think that's what he's doing. It's protecting.
Influence of the infection. The collector's behavior might be influenced by the infection that has spread through Hollowness. This could have warped their mind, leading to irrational actions like hoarding living creatures. The collector has Dreamnail dialogue. The collector is a void being. It is interesting how void is able to have dreams imprinted on it when siblings, for example, in the abyss flying around, those shade siblings, you try dreamnailing them and they die and they fall away instantly. Now, this is something that'll probably be explored in Silksong, but how void interacts with these different essences like soul and void, soul and dream and even lifeblood, is really interesting. I think they're going to explore that a lot in Silksong.
Connection to higher beings or forces. The collector's unique role and behavior might be linked to the will or influence of higher beings in Hallowness, such as a Radiance or Pale King. Their actions could be part of a larger unseen plan or directive. See, that I think makes sense. That do we believe that the collector was created by the Pale King because it's made out of void?
Yes, and
looks
no.
like it was created using the King's mold.
Yes and no. The King's molds were created the mold in the King's workshop was used to create King's molds, assumedly.
Yes.
But one particular King's mold seemed to have been protecting the Love Key bug, who holds the Love Key. And as you can see, that bug has similar characteristics to the collector. They have a similar shaped head, and the collector, I think that's it. Just the head's a very similar shape. The Love Key bug also has Dreamnail dialogue, which says, "Too long spent together, we become as one." So, they got connected somehow, and that affected them. That affected the Love Key holder bug by, I think it's down a little bit. Yeah, there you are. See the little top of the head there?
Yeah.
That little droop. That's the way you can see that on the
collector.
On the collector's head. So now a more interesting thing though, not only, so the collector seems to be doing his own thing, assumably. Now stay on this part and try to look for one of those like lore it's not a lore tablet, but it's like made on stone right there. You see that there? Right. Now go to Lurien's watchtower. I think that's the same lore tablet we see in the collector's tower. With jars.
I mean, this definitely looks like jars. That's a lid, that's a jar, that's a thing. You know what's funny is this right here, for some reason, kind of looks like Un to me.
I don't think it's the same lore tablet, but you do see a jar there.
No, I mean that's definitely a jar, and these look like they're jars. Yeah, what does Lurien want to know about the jars? Maybe Lurien noticed jars. I was gonna say, what if maybe Lurien is starting to see something with all this going on? I don't know.
I had in my grub theory video, lore short. I was like, are the grubs like experiments for like protecting against the radiance? None of them are infected. You don't see any dead grubs that are like infected in their jars when you save them.
All right, so I think this is probably a good spot to end it. If there's any questions that you wanted answered, or questions you wanted questions so we can answer it, go ahead and leave me a comment down in the description below. We'll check that out, and maybe we'll do another one of these videos seeing what the responses to all this is. Thank you again to Lenovo for sponsoring the video, and also thank you to my members for supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. And yeah, make sure to check out Ccmaci, not Mackie, Ccmaci's channel. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you, man. Closing statement. Overall, I think ChatGPT, you know, it's got some edges it needs to rough out on the lore aspect. Definitely not replacing humans anytime soon. Not yet. But a couple of good little threads in there. It's got some interesting things that I think can open the door to some pretty good distinctions on the lore. I think that's a pretty good way to put it. It's not going to answer the lore, but it can definitely give you a step or two of the way there. This is I give this my I give this a solid okay. ChatGPT, you have passed the fun police. There we go. Fun enough for government work, I tell you what. Thank you, Relyea, for having me. This was a lot of fun. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye. See ya.